Okay. While we're waiting for, I think we have almost 50 people joining. While we're waiting for people joining, we'll give them a few minutes. I invite you to drop into the chat below. What is the one goal from 2023 that you want to make happen in this new year? Mr. Gustavo, thanks for joining.
Oh, God, you're hot.
And Neil. What's up, Mr. Neil? Long time. JT, so nice to see some old friends on here.
Can you hear me, bud?
I could hear you.
All right, awesome, good.
All right, thanks for joining, JT.
Yeah, thanks for holding the space, bro.
My pleasure. So while we're waiting for people to join in, inviting you to just share down the chat below. What is the one thing?
Oh, shit.
What is the one thing that you want to make happen in 2024? Develop a thriving brand around my music. I like that. 200 pounds by March 14th. Yeah, let's get it, Derek. We'll make it happen. All right. We have Carla Guzman joining, who I met at the Path event. Thanks for joining, Carla. Mr. Shanu, friend of mine for over 20 years. First time ever joining one of my calls. Thank you, Shanu, for joining us.
Is it Jandu?
Yeah, Mr. Jandu
What's up,
on the
Shanu?
call.
Yes, sir. JT, Zizzle, what's going on, boys?
What is up?
Sorry, my camera's off, and I'm gonna go on mute for a bit just because I'm in the middle of something, but I'm multitasking for 20 minutes. That's okay.
So for those of you that got the notice of the email, having your journal and a pen will be helpful because this is going to be an interactive call. It's not going to be me chatting for the next hour. I'm actually going to have some exercises and things for you guys to do because we're going to get to work. All right. Olivia, get myself out of survival mode. I've always make a small amount of money doing things I don't align with that drain my energy. Okay. Moving to make more money in a way that truly fulfills me. Love it. Start my business plan and training for a new business venture. Okay. Publish my authorized autobiography. Uh-oh. I have a feeling that one's going to be spicy, Sabrina. All right. Hello, Vivian. Thanks for joining. Natasha. Who else we got in here? Robin. Right. Yeah, thanks for everybody's patience. We're just going to give a couple more minutes. And while we're waiting, inviting you to drop into the chat below. What is the one thing in 2024 that you want to make happen? All right. It's important that you're all really clear on that because what I'm going to guide you through today is going to be a framework that's really going to have you see what's possible to create that goal. And I want you to be able to direct what it is that I'm sharing towards that goal, because we're going to go through some steps. And as we go through the steps, I want you to have that goal fresh in mind as well. What is the reason why you haven't completed that goal in 2023? Mr. John Wilk, nice to see that handsome face. How are you, buddy? How are the babies?
Good to see you. They're great, man. They're great.
Yeah.
Going to bed now.
Yeah. Love seeing your updates, you and your beautiful wife and those cute kids.
Thanks, buddy. We're overdue for a catch up.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be back in Toronto this weekend, Saturday, Sunday.
Sweet.
Yeah. Oh, we got Miss Olana joining in from California. All right. Sachi, Payal, Anuja. Hope I'm saying those right. I believe I am. If not, please correct me. Jan. Right. So for anybody joining late, please just drop in the comments below. What is that one thing? What is that goal for 2024 that you want to make happen? Pael's starting my art studio on Etsy this week, and this is only opening the door for my unlimited sale for 2024. I love it. I love it. You know, and that's why I want to have this conversation now, because given that 2024 is 7 weeks away, you know, where a lot of people fail, they fail before they even start because they're just not prepared. You know, 2024 is around the corner, like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that thing. It's going to be so good. I'm going to get that going. And then they start, all these unexpected hiccups and obstacles pop up, because of course they're going to, and it derails your momentum. And then you end up missing a few days, which turns into a few weeks. And then you're just like, screw it. You know, as they say, like, I think it's like maybe the first 8 or 9 days people stick to their New Year's resolutions or whatnot. That's why I want to have this conversation, to set you guys up with structure and a framework that's going to allow you to really start preparing for 2024. So you can start doing the prep work now. And you can start getting the things in place that are necessary, the conversations you need to have, the habits maybe need to change in order to start 2024 set up and ready to go. All right. Fully grow my coaching practice. That's what I like to hear. And real estate development in Nicaragua. Yeah, I'm excited to come visit you down there, Robin. Okay, we have Kim joining. And again, for those that are joining late, please drop your one thing in the chat below. Love to hear what you're up to. And for those of you that have your cameras off, you know, I respect your privacy and all, but I would love to see your smiling faces if you are open to having your camera on. You know, it would be it'd be beautiful to see all of you here. And I'm just going to start muting people, because we're gonna begin this with a little grounding meditation. So if you could please put your settings on mute. Okay, perfect. All right. Well, I'm happy to see that nobody's driving. That's a good thing. Doing Zoom calls while people are driving is always a little scary. Okay, so we're going to kick this off with just a short meditation, just to get you grounded, get you present here in this moment. I'm sure you've had a busy day, and what our request is for the next 55 minutes, we just bring our presence and our intention to this call. So get comfortable, feet flat on the ground, inviting you to close your eyes. Just start taking some long, slow breaths in through the nose with a 4 count in, filling up your belly, filling up your chest, and then a slow exhale out the mouth. And repeating again, in through the nose and out through the mouth. As you continue to take these deep belly breaths, filling up your diaphragm, filling up your chest, just bringing your presence to this moment, to this call. Letting go, whatever you went through during the day.
These off, or you can sleep.
I can sleep. Okay, good. That was the only thing. Okay.
Letting go, whatever stress you move holding on to. With each breath, just sinking in a little bit deeper into your chair. Relaxing your body a little bit more with each exhale. And just feeling into the energy of possibility. Feeling into the excitement of a new year. Reflecting on this past year. Just connecting with a moment of gratitude for all the wonderful things that have happened. Connecting to those experiences, those moments with your friends and loved ones, those special moments by yourself. Allowing that sensation, the emotion of gratitude just to wash all over your body from head to toe. Just feeling the gratitude and the excitement for 2024. A few more deep breaths. Just feeling your feet on the floor, feeling your body safe and supported by the chair that you're in. And just bringing your attention and your awareness to our call together. So coming back, slowly opening your eyes and inviting you to just share how you're feeling in this moment. Any emotions that are coming up for you, anything that you may be experiencing, inviting you to drop it in the chat. Now, I'd like to start this off by just inviting each of you to be open, to be vulnerable, and to know that this is a safe space. Whatever is said, you'll be held and heard without judgment. And each of you has chosen to join this call because there's a bigger, brighter, better future that you're hoping for. And together, when we meet in community, we get to share ideas, we get to learn from one another, we get to inspire each other and support one another. So I encourage you to be open, to share, and allow us to learn from you as well, okay? And as well, just to let go of any criticisms, any judgments, any perspectives, anything that may take you away from just being open and accepting to different ideas and opinions from one another, okay? So this is a free space. At times, I'm going to ask if anybody has questions. And if you do, please just use the emoji, the reactions to raise your hand, and then I'll choose people based on their hands being raised. And that way, I'll have a chance to answer everybody's question. And at the end of this workshop, I'm going to be sharing a link to download the goal setting workbook for 2024. Okay, so you want to stick around for that because that's going to really help you to implement the framework that I'm going to teach you all. So we're going to kick this off. I want to just start this by sharing a little bit about myself. Just see, I want to make sure you can. Okay, can everybody see my screen there? Okay, thumbs up. You can all see my screen. Sorry. I'm working with two screens here, so it's a little complicated. Okay. Okay, so this is the path to 2024. And the reason I called it this is because I want to help set you all up for success in the new year. And the framework and the structure that I want to share with you is going to allow you to really get clear on what are the goals that are important for you for 2024. Most importantly, what are the limitations? What are the beliefs that are holding you back from really going after what you want? So this framework is going to really help you create almost like a blueprint or a business plan for the goals and the vision that you have for your new year. So I'm going to start it off by just telling you a little bit about myself. I know some of you are familiar with who I am and what I've done, but for those of you who are maybe new to myself, I am a coach, an entrepreneur, a speaker, and a retreat leader. And I have been an entrepreneur for 31 years. I left high school at a pretty early age and got into business at the age of 18. I've owned and operated restaurants, nightclubs, spas, other lifestyle concepts. In total, I've created 14 companies during my career. And at the peak of my business, I was operating 8 different businesses at the same time. My company Capture Group had 300 employees. And I learned the hard lesson that more doesn't actually mean better. The more money, more problems was a real thing. So I had to learn that the hard way. And I was really driven by just wanting to be super successful, because being, I'm not going to call myself a high school dropout anymore. I chose to leave school, but after getting asked to leave 3 different high schools, I really chose to just kind of take my own path. After dealing with bullying and racism and getting picked on at a young age, I just decided to go out on my own and create my own life and my own business. So this is a photo from one of our staff parties many, many years ago. And you can see in this photo, there's almost 300 of us at one of our staff events, just to give you an example of what it looked like. This was one of my businesses back in the day called Blowfish. Some of you may remember it. It was a Japanese fusion restaurant at King and Bathurst, for those of you from Toronto. This was one of our nightclubs called Maison Mercer, fit over 1,000 people. This was, I'm sure some of you have had some fun nights there back in the day. And then this is another venue we own called the Everly, which is now called Century, which is on King Street as well, to just give you a bit of background. Now, my lifestyle was very different back then, very much into nightlife and entertainment, but it also provided me with the opportunity to give back. And with a charity group that I helped co-found called Outbound, we've raised money and built schools in Kenya, India, Nicaragua, Haiti, and even Guatemala. So this is a little bit of background on myself as an entrepreneur, but also a philanthropist. I've also been a fitness competitor, world traveler, having been to over 60 countries. And my career allowed me to live a really abundant, amazing life. And then moment happened when I turned 40. And I realized that I didn't quite love my life anymore, even though I really had a very successful, prosperous career. Something I just didn't feel right. I felt unfulfilled, and I just felt like something was missing. And just to double check, you can all see my screen, right? My slides? Okay, perfect. So it was on that 40th birthday, I realized that I was just feeling unfulfilled. Even though I had accomplished a lot, I just knew something was missing. And that's when I began my personal development journey. That led me to complete programs like Landmark. I did Tony Robbins. I did a number of different trainings, retreats, and coaching. And I realized that I had a greater purpose, and that was to do more than sell expensive vodka and sushi. I really wanted to help people find their own purpose and find their journey. So I started hosting retreats in Costa Rica in 2018. And that's when I actually transitioned out of the nightlife industry in Toronto and ended up moving to Costa Rica in 2018. And I like to say that I went from nightlife, which this would be kind of like an average Saturday night for me, to light life. So this is me leading breath work at the Sunrise Social. This was about, I'd say about a month ago. There's over 300 people who came out at 6 a.m. To do breath work and yoga in the park. So my events have changed significantly from, getting people, drunk and numb to their problems in the nightlife industry to get them clean and sober and getting healthy and healing in a very different type of event. So and I share this with you because I just want you to understand the contrast of my life, and also because I want you to know that you can be a high school dropout from Scarborough who really started with very little, and you can totally create whatever you want. And at the age of 40, I chose to reinvent myself again, and here's an example of some of my transformations that I've gone through, from being the city guy, driving the Porsche, to being the hippie bohemian guy in Costa Rica, to being a national level fitness competitor. So it really comes down to the mindset and the belief as to whether you can or can't. So I just want to share a little bit about myself so you actually have an idea as to who I am and for the context as to which I speak from when I share this. So what it really comes down to is my mission. I'm committed to supporting men and women just be the best version of themselves. And what I mean by that is just really being their most authentic self, doing the inner work, letting go of the beliefs, letting go of whatever blockages or barriers there are for them to really tap into their true potential. I want to see people healthy. I want to see them rich. I want to see them in love. I want to see them traveling. And most importantly, living a life that's stress-free, without the anxiety, without the, mental health issues that we're seeing so common these days. So for me, it's all about helping people. It sounds cliche, but not just live their best life, but just live a life of true freedom, because that's something I've been able to create for myself. And if I can do it, you can do it as well. And I want to help you to do it. Okay. So that's really my mission in life and what I get to do each and every day. And I'm truly so blessed for it. And, I believe everything starts with intention. So my intention for this call, I'm not trying to sell anything. I don't have a landing page I'm going to direct you to buy my course or anything afterwards. My intention really is just to be of service, to just support you with framework and a structure that's been very helpful for me in achieving my goals, and hoping that it helps you to have some clarity on what it is you want to create and being able to apply the framework so you can make that goal that you didn't get done in 2023 a reality in 2024. Okay. How does that sound? Everybody in for that? Sounds good. Okay. All right. Thank you all for paying attention and watching my little intro there. So starting first and foremost, and it's important, if you have your journal and pen ready, I'd love for you to, just start taking notes and start writing things down, because I'm going to be asking you some questions, and it's important that you take the time to answer these questions, because I'm going to want you to reflect back on them later on, especially when you have the goal setting workbook, because there's a real formula to this. So what is the one goal that you must make happen in 2024? Now, some of you have shared down here in the chat. For those that haven't shared, I'd love it if you could drop it in there and let me know, what is that one goal that you want to create in 2024 that if you haven't shared yet, please drop it in the group chat below. And if you're not clear on what that goal is or what it is that you want to create, just keep listening, keep doing the work, and the goal and the importance of it will surface through the process. Okay, so thinking about what the goal is that you want to make happen in 2024, I want you to write down and think about, why did you not achieve this goal in 2023? What is it that for you've wanted, but you weren't able to, and what was the obstacle? And I'll share a personal example with all of you. So I'm committing to doing a triathlon in 2024. I'll be turning 50 in August, and I thought a great way to celebrate turning 50 is to do my first triathlon. Now, I turned 49 back in August, so it's been, a few months now, and I have made zero progress in attempting this goal. Now, even a couple of weeks ago, I met a swim coach with Robin. I got his business card. I still haven't called him. So why haven't I not even started this goal? I haven't started this goal because, and these are my reasons and these are my excuses. It's like, okay, well, I don't have a swim coach. Now I do have a swim coach. I'm afraid of I'm afraid of water. I almost drowned when I was 8 years old. So for me, I have a fear of open bodies of water. So it's like, okay, well, it's too cold to go swim in the lake now. I can't do that. Okay, what about swimming pools? You know, that we come up with all these different excuses. We come up with stories that we tell ourselves. But the truth is when we actually write them down and we look at these excuses and the story that we're telling, we realize like, okay, this is just bullshit. Like we're just coming up with excuses to tell ourselves to justify why we're not actually taking action. So what I want to do is help you to move past those justifications and excuses that you're working on. So I want you to take a moment to just write down what is that goal from 2023 that you didn't complete? Why did you not complete it? And now, what are your reasons or excuses? What's the story that you're telling yourself? And I'd love to open this up for a moment. I'd love to hear 1 or 2 people share. What is the goal for 2023 that you didn't complete? Why? And what's the story that you're telling yourself? This is where it's going to require 1 or 2 of you to get vulnerable. All right, Derek. Thank you, Derek. Love to hear it.
What's up, coach? My goal for 2024 is be 200 pounds by March 14, which is my birthday. The reason why, well, my excuse is just wasn't disciplined. Although I dropped 40 pounds, I wasn't disciplined, wasn't fully committed. And what I told myself is I'll just start tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow, and then tomorrow never came, right? So that's why I'm here with you, coach.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. And what's the story you're telling yourself about tomorrow?
Tomorrow's a new day. I'll start tomorrow.
Mhm.
Tomorrow never came.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like that sign that they have outside of some bars, free beer tomorrow. Right. Tomorrow's always tomorrow. Yeah. Thank you, Derek, for sharing. Anybody else have a goal from 2023 you haven't quite accomplished yet? So remember, just put up the hand raise emoji down at the bottom. Okay, Valeria?
So I've been wanting to buy investment property for, I'd say, more than a year now.
Okay.
I think my 2 main excuses are economic context, like the uncertainty, which deep down I know will always exist. And the other thing is I'm an accountant by trade, so I have this analysis paralysis. Like I'm always crunching numbers and there's no end to it. Like there's always, so I'm kind of stuck in this loop.
Got it. And sometimes too much information is actually a curse.
Yeah.
Because then it's like you get overwhelmed. And you know, when they say with real estate, the best time to buy real estate was yesterday.
Yeah. Best
Right.
time, second best time today.
Exactly. So, and if you really trusted your gut, do you feel that you already know the answer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing. And Fernando, I appreciate you raising your hand, but just to keep it moving along, we're going to keep it. But if you be open to sharing next round of questions, I'd appreciate that. So, what are your beliefs about your ability to achieve this goal? So, with Derek, you know, knowing that he's done it before, knowing he's lost 40 pounds before, he has a belief that he can do it, but there's something missing there. There's something missing, thinking tomorrow's going to come and tomorrow's going to come. But as we know, tomorrow doesn't always come for everybody, right? And with Valeria wanting to buy that investment property, with the financial uncertainty, that economy, the mortgage rates and all that, yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty about that. But again, we can never be sure, we can never be certain about what's actually going to happen, especially in the real estate and the mortgage market, right? So what are your beliefs about your ability to achieve this goal? Does anybody have a goal that you actually doubt yourself, that you don't even know if you can do it? For example, like for me in my swimming, I'm shit scared of swimming. Like the thought of being in the lake or ocean with hundreds of swimmers, like that actually gives me anxiety. So that belief, it's a limiting belief, but that's what's actually been holding me back from jumping in and starting. Olivia, love to hear your beliefs about your ability.
For me, I feel like I started out when I had my goal a year ago, so excited and like so confident that I could do it. And now it's been so long and I keep coming up against the same like loops or patterns or back to the same place as always. And I feel like I just don't even know how to get myself back to believing that I can do what I want to do at all.
Okay. So your lack of belief in yourself as to whether or not you can even make it happen.
Yeah, because it's been so long of seemingly trying and nothing.
Got it. Okay. And what would need to shift in your beliefs? I'm just going to scroll to the next one. So this belief about whether or not you are even capable of doing it, like when did you develop this belief? Did something happen that shook your confidence, that had you think that maybe it's not possible for you?
Multiple times when I thought, okay, this is it, and I've made something happen that I want to make happen, it just fell through, or plans changed, or an obstacle came up that I couldn't seem to get around, and I had to readjust, but it didn't seem to take me to a better place of like, I've achieved what I wanted, or if it's not that, it's something better. I feel like I haven't had that in a long time, and I don't know if it's, I'm sure I just have to keep adjusting the mindset over and over and not giving up. That's probably the lesson, but
That's it. Yeah. And, having created multiple businesses and having some that have worked really well and some have failed, I've learned more from the ones that failed and didn't actually achieve the results I wanted. And at the time, it sucks to lose a lot of money and, of course, time and energy into a project. But it's only afterwards that you can reflect back and see that it was a necessary lesson I had to go through in order to develop the skills I needed for what was waiting for me in the future. And I've lost a lot of money on some ventures, but even though I lost that money, it saved me from losing even more on future projects. So in the time, it's frustrating and it's painful and it can really hurt financially. But we always have to trust that we're getting the experience. The universe, God, source, whatever you want to call it, is giving us the experience we need to help us develop our strength, our resilience, and to also teach us something. Now, sometimes I made mistakes because I was just irresponsible. I didn't do my due diligence. I learned that hard line of read the small print and location, location, location on one of my restaurants where I got totally screwed by the landlord. And that lesson saved me a lot of money in the future. So just because you've had some things that haven't gone according to plan, it doesn't mean that you're not capable. It's just the experiences that you need in order to develop the knowledge, the wisdom, the resilience to move forward. And that's a big shift in mindset that's really going to help you to take things on from an empowered place, knowing that as long as you're in integrity and you're giving 100% and you're committed, even if it doesn't go according as planned, often plan B is better than plan A. But you have to stay optimistic. You have to look for the blessing in the lesson, and you have to believe in yourself. And that's what it really comes down to. So that's self-belief. And we're going to talk about this a little bit more because there are so many different ways that we can find that self-belief in the proof of what we're capable of doing. Like Derek, for example, losing the 40 pounds. He's done it before. He knows he has it with him. Within him, it says he needs to move past his complacency and needs to really step into why is it so important to achieve that goal. So let me ask you, Derek, and thank you for sharing, Olivia. Derek, why is it so important for you to lose that 40 pounds?
I just want to live a healthier lifestyle.
Okay. Why do you want to live a healthier lifestyle?
2 kids at home, Doc, and my father passed away at 50 years old, and I was 25 at the time.
Yeah.
And I was completely lost. And one of my biggest fears is not being around for my kids, because I know what it did to me at 25. It's not even my kids a lot younger. So for me, that's pretty much what it comes down to.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. And that's a very powerful why. So when, Olivia, you think about what it is that you want to create, or Valeria with the property that you want to buy, when you think about your big why, not just on a surface level, but on the deeper, on the meta level, why is it truly important to you? That's what moves us past the fear and the procrastination. So for Derek, for example, he lost his father, and he knows what the impact is like to lose a father at such a young age. He has a deep why within him because he's got 2 beautiful children that he wants to grow old with, right? Very much so for me, my desire to do a triathlon, even though I'm scared to swim in open bodies of water. It's because I have a father who's 76 years old who can barely even walk anymore. He never took care of himself, you know, and I'm 49. I'm still not married with no kids. So, I know that, you know, I'm going to be a very healthy 78-year-old, 70, 80, 90, 100-year-old. I know I'm living to 120 for sure. And I'm making the commitment to be a healthy 80-year-old with my 2-3 children, because that's the father that I want to be. But me being that father in that health condition is decided by the choices I make today. So what is your why? So Valeria, why do you want to own that vacation or that investment property? You know, or for Derek, who wants to lose weight, or Olivia, whatever project you're focusing on. So I invite each of you to consider, why is achieving this goal so important to you? And not just on the surface level, on the deeper level. Like, when you achieve that goal, what does it actually bring into your life? So how will it impact your life, in the sense that what will be different about who you get to be and how it benefits your loved ones? As Derek said, when he loses 40 pounds, he's going to be a different father. You know, when Valeria has her rental property, it's going to, you know, provide her with passive income. What can she do with that income? How's that going to impact the quality of her life? So really getting clear on the true why behind your goal and how it's going to impact your life and benefit your loved ones is super important, because those are the reasons that's going to move you past procrastination. You know, one thing, just to go back to the beliefs around whether you can or can't, right? So often the beliefs that we have, whether it be swimming, whether it be losing weight, whether about, you know, investing in a property, if you have some blockage around the ability to invest because you overanalyze, because maybe you grew up with limited financial means growing up, maybe you have a deep-rooted scarcity mindset that is just how you've operated. That scarcity mindset, or, you know, for someone who, let's say, I'm not saying this is you, Derek, but for someone who doesn't take care of their weight or their health, you know, if they don't honor their weight, their health, and you have a belief around that I'm not worthy, like I don't deserve to be healthy, I don't deserve to live a long life. Those beliefs and blockages, you've been carrying them with you for a very long time. Those beliefs are hardwired into your subconscious. Now, our subconscious controls 95% of our actions. We think we're in control. We think we're choosing all the time. We're not. It's our subconscious mind with the beliefs that have been developed at a very young age that dictate how we behave. And because most of the time we behave unconsciously, you know, whether we're spending money, we're eating food we shouldn't be eating, or spending time with people that aren't actually necessarily healthy for us, you know, we are choosing from an unconscious place. So when you come up against these beliefs and you're experiencing blockages around moving forward, this is where the work is to be done. This is where you get to really dive in and ask yourself, okay, what is the originating incident that created this belief for me? If you really go back, what is the story that happened, or what's the incident happened that you created a story about that's still alive in your subconscious, that's controlling the decisions you make? And this is where the deep work is, whether it be coaching, therapy, shadow work, whatever it may be. This is really how you move past the blockages, by rewiring your brain. And this is a process of neuroplasticity, going back to the originating incident where something happened that created an emotional response, a trigger. And until you go back and you discover what's there in your shadow, that belief, that pattern, and you're able to work through it, you're going to have that blockage in life. And through different modalities, through different forms of coaching or therapy, you can, and again, you could do it yourself through positive affirmations, through reading new content, through exposing yourself to information that supports your new belief. You can eventually develop new neural pathways when you start to choose new responses and start to choose new actions different from how you normally react to things. So it's very important to understand that even though you may feel like your brain is hardwired to react in a certain way, it is possible through the process of neuroplasticity to develop new thought patterns, which will develop new actions, which will develop new behaviors, which will develop a new way of being, a new personality, and that new personality will create your new reality. So that's something very important to understand. And you know, the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, he's someone who speaks a lot about the process of rewiring of the brain. So if you're not familiar with him, highly recommend checking out his content. So Olivia, did you still have a question? Your hand's still up? I can just lower that. Okay, thank you. And Valeria, I believe you had your hand up for a second. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask for if you had experience with examples of ways to reprogram your subconscious and these wired, you know, childhood beliefs or trauma related, but you kind of answered it.
Yeah, sure. And you know, again, we're going to do a little guided visualization now, because the mind doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination. We can play a movie in our head and our body will start reacting to the visualization that we're creating. So if you don't like the narrative, if you don't like the story that's playing in your head because it doesn't support who you want to be, there are guided meditations, there are different processes, you know, there's lots of books and video content about it that can really help you to ground in that new reality of what you want to create. And it requires consistent practice, and it requires a dedication to really choose to visualize that new reality and feel into it each and every day. And again, this is something that Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches. You know, a lot of people speak about affirmations and, you know, just say those positive affirmations, you know, every morning and every night. And you know, it's going to manifest your reality. But the truth is it's a little bit more complicated. They're not complicated, a little more complex than that, in the sense that it's also important to be able to feel the emotions and allow your, you know, your heart to connect with the frequency of that reality that you're calling in. Because when there's heart and brain coherence, you're then in a powerful state to manifest, because you are in that vibration of creation, of abundance. Okay, but in order for there to be heart and mind coherence, you really have to be able to let go of the things that are causing you to question yourself. And that's where the deep work is required. So it's a combination of looking at where are your wounds, where are your blockages, where are those old stories that you are ready to work through. And by transmuting those stories and those, like, so for example, when you have a trauma from childhood, something happened, maybe it's, you know, you got bullied, or for myself, you know, almost drowning, you know, a lot of times the childhood incidences that we that impact us, we think in a negative way, we can actually reframe them. We could see how that incident has actually benefited us in many ways, and we can transmute the emotions of anger, frustration, guilt, or shame into appreciation, love, joy, and gratitude. And that is how we are able to shift our vibrational frequency from those low vibe emotions, by being able to see the positive in what that experience actually brought into our life, and then shift that frequency. Because again, if you are in one of those low vibrational states, it's very hard to create from that place, because again, law of attraction is like attracts like. And if you are in a low vibration, it's very hard to call in abundance, love, or optimal health when you are in those lower frequencies. And for those of you who may not be so familiar with the concept of vibration and frequency, there is a book called The Map of Consciousness by Dr. David Hawkins. And in that book, he talks about the fact that everything has a vibrational frequency to it. And our bodies, our pets, this microphone, money, everything has its own unique frequency. And for us to be able to call those things into our life, we have to be a vibrational match. Okay, so being able to shift your old story, transmute those emotions, raise your frequency is the key to really manifesting what you want. So I know that's a long-winded answer to your question, but I hope that was helpful. Okay, so I'm going to invite you all to drop in again. We're going to do a little time traveling. Okay, so for those of you who have never experienced a little time travel session, we're going to teleport ourselves to November 15th, 2024. So again, inviting you to close your eyes once again and just start with some long, deep belly breaths. In through the nose for 4 and out through the mouth for 4. And just connecting your breath, your body as you just sink in. And inviting you to imagine it's 1 year from today, November 15th, 2024. And so much has happened over these past 365 days. You've been showing up and giving 100% each and every day. You've been living in alignment with your goals, and you've finally done it. You've achieved what you said you would. And this is the moment. As you stand there, relishing in the experience of achievement, I invite you to just take it all in. Take a look around. Where are you? And as you look around, what can you hear? And where you are right now, what are you doing? How do you look in this moment 1 year from now? What's different about you? What can you notice? How does your energy feel? Are you inspired? You're feeling grateful? What emotions are coming up for you in this moment? And who are you with? Is there someone special standing next to you? Are you in front of a large crowd? Or maybe you're even by yourself. If you are with someone, as you look at them in their eyes, what do they have to say to you? What is it that they want to share with you in this moment? Taking it all in and allowing yourself to feel the joy of success in this moment. Really connecting to your feelings. Just notice what emotions are coming up for you. Feel into this energy, this frequency of accomplishment. And remember this feeling. Remember this vibration. Because it is you. It is yours. It is your future. Now, in this moment, as you're connected to your future self, ask them what message of advice or guidance do they have for you? Ask them this question and just listen. Now, as we come back to this current moment, I invite you to take out your journal and just write down, what did you see? What did you feel? And what knowledge or guidance did you receive from anyone in your visualization, including yourself? Just take a moment to capture that message. And I'd love to hear from a couple of you. What did you connect with as you visualized yourself 1 year from today? Love to hear from anybody that would like to share. Anybody have anything to share about their visualization? Mr. Robin, thank you.
Yeah, I thank you first for the visualization. Like I was just thinking about all the things I want to do, and when I connected with my my future self, I just forgot to just enjoy also the process. That's literally like the message I got was I saw everything I was doing and like all the process, you know, like literally like getting through it, but understanding the why I'm doing it, and don't forget to like every day really remembering the why so that I can be present and really enjoy it. Because I think in 2023 what happened was like I was just living in the future and forgetting to be present. I mean, I'm someone that is usually present, but really like anxiety, I would say, like really like projecting a lot and forgetting to enjoy today. And that's just super powerful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. That's definitely a powerful realization. As much as we want to think about the future, it's also super important to be here in the now. That's something I get tripped up with as well at times. I'm sure many of us do. Always living into what's next. Mr. Fernando.
Hi. Yeah, my future self took me to performing at a really a large outdoor venue here in Miami, one that I've thought about playing at many times, to a very large crowd. And I could in the distance I could see this apartment in a high rise that I have. And then in the apartment with my kids, they were just so proud of me. They were just showering me with love, saying, "Thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Daddy," you know, for providing them with the lifestyle that I've been dreaming of providing for them and that they've been wanting to live. And then my future self looked me square in the eye. He's like, "Don't hesitate. Do not hesitate. Whatever it is, just don't hesitate. Go for it. And you can do it. You can have the several streams." I've always struggled with doing more than one thing at a time. Is that you can do it, but just deploy the right people and the right systems and the right teams around each of those projects you can have a portfolio of businesses. Just like you, Zarek, you had 8 at one time, right? So if you could do 8, I think I can do 3 or 4.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Love it. Love it. Thank you for sharing that, Fernando. Appreciate
Thank you.
it. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. And that's exactly it. You know, that wisdom and that reminder from our future self who's already experiencing that life that we desire. That's gold. The message that we receive from our future self is just us in another timeline, right? And that advice is coming from that version of us that moved past the obstacles, worked through the blockages, and they're on the other side of that fear and that procrastination that keeps us, that limits our potential, keeps us holding us back. Okay, so thank you for sharing. So let's get into creating the action plan. And I'm noticing that we are at 7:25 here, so I apologize. Looks like we are going to go over time. I'm going to speed it up a little bit so that I don't keep you guys too much later over, but we probably are going to go over about 10 or 15 minutes. So I hope everybody's okay with that. All right, so the action plan, getting started now that you've got the visualization, you have a goal that you want to create for 2024, sorry, from 2023. Inviting you to write this down and think about what are the required resources and support. So what financial, time, or skill-based resources do you need? Maybe it's a course you need to take. Maybe it's a coach you need to hire. Maybe it's a consultant you need to work with. In my case, for example, I need to hire a swim coach if I want to do a triathlon. Do I know how to swim? I can swim. Do I know how to swim good enough to do a triathlon? No. So I'm going to hire a swim coach. So do you need to upskill or take courses? And if so, what are they? Because the answer that I don't know how to do it doesn't hold weight anymore, because there's more content and more information available now than ever before at any other time in history. So if there's anything you want to know, AI can answer the question for you in a matter of moments. So if there's anything you want to do, you can ask AI and it will spit out a business plan for you. So that excuse of, well, I don't know how to do it, just doesn't fly anymore. Okay. So what are the required resources and support? Now, your support network, who in your life can offer you meaningful support, advice, or resources, and what can you ask them to support you with? So I have few friends that have completed triathlons. So I called them up and I asked them, okay, so tell me what I need to know. And where would you suggest I do a triathlon, and how would I best prepare? So for, let's say, Valeria, who wants to buy an investment property, who do you know that has bought or buys investment properties? And it's something they're very experienced with, that you can ask for support. And then what do you want to ask them for support specifically? So if you have a belief or a fear about investing into real estate, so ask them specifically about that fear. Ask them if they can validate it or they can debunk it or whatever it may be. Because it's one thing to reach out to ask for someone, to ask a favor from someone, but what's annoying for me is when somebody reaches out to ask me a favor about moving to Costa Rica, but they don't actually know what they want to ask me. They just want to know, hey, how's life in Costa Rica? It's awesome, but what do you really want to know? So get clear on what do you want to ask them for from support wise. Okay. And with that, again, there are consultants, there are coaches, there are people out there who you can hire, like for myself, hiring a swim coach, or for Derek, for example, hiring a personal trainer to help him lose weight. Does he know how to lose the weight and go to the gym? Sure, he does. If he hires a coach, is he going to get those results quicker? Absolutely. So, hiring a coach or mentor, somebody who's already done it before, who can, you could pay for their expertise, is a great way to get ahead as well. With your role models, who's achieved something similar, and what best practices or lessons can you adopt from their experience? So again, going back to my example of completing a triathlon, I've spoken to 3 or 4 of my friends who have completed them, including Robin here on this call, and asking them, you know, what it is that they could share from their experiences that's going to be helpful for me. So for each of you who have your goals, is there a role model? Now, you don't necessarily even have to know this role model. Let's say it's, you know, you want to become, you know, a better golfer, for example. You know, is there a golfer out there that you really admire that you could learn about and understand what his or her process is? You know, so often we need to see the proof in someone else and almost reverse engineer their success to understand how did they actually do it for us to believe that it's even possible. So looking at who are role models, who have achieved what you want, and what is there that you can learn from them that would be helpful. And the more you research and the more you start gathering information, the more probable the goal will seem. The more data, the more information, the more prepared you are, the more confident you're going to feel in being able to achieve this. Okay, this is why it's so important to do your due diligence and do your research, because taking on a large task, whether it be a triathlon, whether it be losing 40 pounds, whether it be buying a real investment property, these are all big endeavors. And if you've never done any of that before, it can be overwhelming. But when you start breaking down, gathering research, learning about the process, you know, one bit at a time, you start to realize like, okay, this isn't so difficult. So as you start to research, as you start to learn about the process, what is the very first actionable step you can take? So if we, you know, refer back to Valeria with her goal. So Valeria, with you wanting to buy an investment property in real estate, what would be the very first actionable step you could take that would get you moving forward out of this place of feeling stuck?
Probably going to get the pre-approvals and the financing, you know, clear and done, like ready, so that I know exactly how much I have to work with and how much I want to spend.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that gives you your starting point. That gives you, you know, first off, you're making it real by you've actually taken your first action. You've now made it real because you're putting it out there. You've now been approved. Now you know that, okay, this is what I have to work with. And when we take the first step, regardless how small it is, and we achieve that first step, it at least starts off our momentum. And when you start breaking down your goal into smaller steps and you start to take action consistently, that momentum builds confidence. And in that confidence, again, it's about the vibration of excitement, gratitude, enthusiasm. You know, that's what pulls the experience to us. You know, what Dr. Joe Dispenza says is our mind sets the intention. Our mind sets the intention of, I want to have that amazing investment property. And it's our heart that feels into the experience of what it'll be like to have that passive income from that investment property coming in every month. With that extra money, what can you do with it? How will your life be different? So in being able to feel into the emotions of how that investment property is going to change your life, that's how you pull the experience to you. So our mind sets the intention, our heart pulls it to us. And that's through the frequency of love and gratitude that we radiate when we are tapping into that future. So when you know what your first step is, when will you take it, and be specific about date and time. So you know, Darren wants to lose 40 pounds. Derek wants to lose 40 pounds. He's not starting like, you know, to lose 40 pounds, you got to lose 1 pound and 2 pounds and 5 pounds and 10 pounds, right? So you got to start somewhere. So the question is, when will Derek say, okay, I'm going to lose 40 pounds by his birthday, which he said, but when are you going to take that first step? And that first step might look like hiring a trainer, might be getting a gym membership, might be signing up for your Orange Theory class, right? But you got to have a date, you got to be specific, and then you got to commit to it. Okay. Otherwise, tomorrow will just come tomorrow. Accountability. Now, this is a really big one, because I want to share some stats about accountability, but first off, who can you ask to hold you accountable? So who can you partner with in this venture to say, okay, you know what, JT, I'm going to do this triathlon and I need you to check on me every week. I want you to follow up with me. I want you to like really push me to do it. If you don't hear from me, or whatever structure you want to set up, for somebody who, let's say, again, I'll use Derek as an example, somebody who wants to lose weight. You have to eat well consistently every day. You've got to train at least 5 days a week if you want to drop 40 pounds. So in doing so, his accountability partner, he's going to have to touch base with that accountability partner probably many times a week. Now, I've been in groups before where I text my accountability partner at the end of every night just to check in, to let him know how I'm doing, and he would do the same with me. For some of you, it might be that you have a call or you send a video or you text your accountability partner once a week. However you want to design and structure it, having an accountability partner makes a huge difference. I'll share why. These stats will blow you away. So first off, having a goal or an idea, like many of you did in 2023, you have a 10% chance that you're going to complete this goal. Now, consciously deciding that you will do it, saying, that's it, I'm going to do it, I'm all in, you have a 25% chance of actually completing it. Deciding when you'll do it, like Derek has chosen, his birthday, 40%. Planning how to do it, which is now starting to get into the action steps, starting to get into the resources of it. You're now have a 50% chance better of actually achieving it. Committing to someone that you'll do it, 65% chance, but having an accountability partner, having somebody to hold you to this goal that you've committed to, you have a 95% chance of success. Okay. That pretty much guarantees that, if you have an accountability partner, you commit to it and they hold you to that goal, you're going to have a 95% success rate. Now, I'm going to suggest going even one step further. Share it. Share it with your family, share it with your friends. When I committed to do my first bodybuilding contest, I shared it on Instagram and social media. I let my whole community know, hey, November, I think it was 2015 or 16, I'm going to do my first bodybuilding competition. And once you put it out there, it's like, now it really makes it real. The stakes are that much higher. So find an accountability partner, commit to a structure with them, and then put it out there to make sure that other people can also hold you accountable. Like, I'm sure those of you that now know that I'm going to do a triathlon, next time I see John in Toronto, he's going to say, hey, how's the swimming coming along? I'm going to see Brandon or JT and be like, hey, you riding your bike? What's going on? And that's okay. I invite you guys to encourage me to do it, because that's how we can support each other. So put it out there, let your friends know that that's what you're doing, and just stick to it. All right. So accountability is super, super powerful. Now, tracking and measurement. So how will you track your progress? So if it's something like losing weight, obviously that's easy. Week by week, you can track. With the triathlon, I can, check how much I'm riding, running, and swimming every week. Now, something like buying an investment property, that one's a little bit different, because, some of those variables are outside of your control. But what you can do is set benchmarks for yourself. Okay, by the end of the year, I will have looked at 15 different properties. By the end of February, I will have spoken to X amount of designers, or whatever it may be, but setting some benchmarks for yourself so that you have a timeline that you're holding yourself to with your accountability partner. Because otherwise, if you just say, oh yeah, I want to buy an investment property in 2024, okay, great. But there's no sense of urgency, and then next thing you know, prices are going to go up. It's going to be 2025. And you're like, damn, I should have bought that property in 2024. Like, I'm sure you're probably saying, I should have bought that property in 2023, right? So setting measurements for yourself, being able to track that, and just really having the accountability with your partner to check in on that, to track that. Okay. Let's see. And then taking the time as well to review and adjust. So with whether it be training, whether it be the triathlon, or whatever it is that you're up to. Like, look, some of you, your goals are going to take a few months. Some of them, it's going to take a full year. Now, you may start off with a plan and a vision and a strategy as to how you think you're going to achieve that goal, but you may need to revise that goal. You may need to revisit it a few weeks or a few months into it to see, like, okay, is this actually going the way I wanted? Okay, no, you know what? I'm going to take a pause, pivot, adjust things, and go back in. And that might be, as I said, weekly, monthly, or quarterly. But the thing is you need to be able to stop, to review, and just check in to see, how is the goal? How is your progress going? Are you working towards your goal in the most efficient and effective way, or do you need to pivot and adjust? So that's very important, is to have that time to be able to just really review how things are coming along. And most importantly is the celebrations along the way, because if your goal is to lose 40 pounds and that's not happening for another 4 or 5 months, can you reward yourself every month with a cheat meal? Or could you allow yourself, oh, you know what, this month I lost, exactly the amount of weight I said, I'm going to take myself to the spa, or I'm going to buy myself a new pair of shoes, or whatever it may be. You need to set the benchmarks and celebrate those moments along the way, because that's how you keep yourself motivated and inspired, and you deserve it. You're working hard, you're committed to your goals. So allow yourself to have the time to be able to celebrate as you make progress, from week to week and month to month. Because look, you're choosing to do something most people won't. I have a feeling that most of you have these beautiful goals that aren't just for you. These goals are for the people in your life, and these are goals that you don't necessarily have to do. You're choosing to do them because it's who you want to be. Okay. And that's what really is the most powerful catalyst for change. It's not the trophy. It's not the monetary rewards or the accomplishments. The biggest catalyst for change is who you get to be, because those superficial rewards, they're temporary, they're fleeting. They feel good for a few days or a few weeks, but then it's like, okay, you kind of get bored of it. It's really who you get to be and how your achievements get to influence and inspire the people around you. Because in you rising up, in your commitment, in Derek losing 40 pounds, or any of you achieving what it is you're setting yourself out to do, the people around you, they're going to see that, they're going to witness it, and they're going to be like, oh, you know what? If John did that, I could do that. If Kim did that, I can do that. Fernando did it, why can't I? So you can be the role model. You could be the expander for the people in your life to show them that you're the proof and that you were able to overcome whatever you needed to get it done. Okay, so the question is who do you get to be as a result of achieving your goal? And that is the most powerful reason to take action, because when you get to really step into your true power, when you're able to move past the fear, you are disrupting, you are breaking, for some of us, generational patterns. You are breaking the history that's been going on in your life and in your family for generations. So you get to be the one. You get to be the one to achieve that level of success that nobody else in your family has. But the thing about that is you need to choose this every day. You got to be committed to it. You got to wake up and you got to say, today I'm getting one step closer to achieving my goal. That's the only way you're ever going to be able to make it happen. So if you want it bad enough and who it's going to impact in your life, the difference you're going to make, feel into that energy, feel into that person that gets to make the difference for all the people around you. Because I can honestly tell you, from someone who is living his purpose and doing what I really love the most, it is the best feeling when you get to influence those around you by showing up in full integrity and giving 100%. So that is what I wish for all of you. And again, the choice is yours. You don't have to do this work. You don't have to accomplish that goal, but if you really choose it because you want a better life, you want better health, you want more money, you want better relationships, the choice is yours and you got to choose it every day. Okay, so that is what I want to share with all of you today. I hope you found this valuable. I hope you got something from it. And I would love to just open this up to some questions for any of you that want to maybe understand a little bit more about what I shared. I know we're over time here by about 15 minutes. So if some of you have to drop off, I totally understand. But for those of you who may have some questions, please feel free to, raise your hand. I'll address them one by one, and I'm going to share a link to the goal planning workbook that I want to share with all of you. John, thanks for joining, buddy. Great to see you. And hopefully I'll see you in Toronto sometime soon. I'm just going to post this link. Just give me 1 second here. And I'd love to hear if anybody has any takeaways, anything that has come up for them that, I've shared in this workshop that's been helpful for you.
Derek.
Yes, JT.
Yeah, so you brought up some pretty cool points overall, and when it comes to things like role models and accountability and tracking and measuring and things like that, is a coach involved with something like that?
Absolutely. So one of the main reasons why people hire a coach is for the accountability aspect, because, if you're paying someone to keep you on track and someone who's going to help you to create the structure and help you with the guidelines that you need, then you're investing into having someone to really share with you their guidance and their framework to make sure that you're achieving your set goals on target, right? So you're now accountable to someone, and you're also investing into it. Like, people pay attention when they pay. So when you financially commit to something, for example, like, often when you go to a gym, trainers will have you pay for 20 sessions up front. And you're paying for those 20 sessions up front because once you're invested into it, you're not just invested into it financially, but it's like, okay, like now, like I'm all in, right? So that's one of the main reasons why people will want to work with a coach, is to have someone to also help them course correct. Because there are times where you're working towards your goal, but you might start to have self-doubt. You may start to feel unmotivated because, as you try for whatever, there's going to be setbacks always. And in those moments of setbacks, a coach can help you to shift your perspective and have a different mindset towards what it is that you're working towards. And that's what allows you to have consistent progress, because otherwise it's human nature. We fall off. And if we don't have the discipline to get back on, then days go by, weeks go by, and then we just give up and walk away.
Right. Okay, sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, thanks for asking. Alana, you had a question?
Oh, yes. Hi, guys. Hi, everyone. Sorry I was off earlier. There's dogs happening in my background, but thank you so much for this workshop. I had so much fun doing your activities, and the meditation in the beginning was really beautiful. I loved
Thank
the
you.
future tripping meditation we did, because I think so often when we plan things for the future, we make like an intellectual list and we, set these goals, but actually to sit there in the future and feel like the senses, or get these visuals of what might be around me, who might be around me, made me a lot more excited about it. So that was a really fun thing to do. I loved that. And I loved how you suggested getting accountability partners for different goals or this goal. And yeah, I just really loved this. Like, it was wonderful. And it's really nice to see some of the other people on this call. And yeah, thanks for sharing, everybody. I got so much from everyone. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you for joining, Alana. Great to see you all the way from California. Yeah, and I apologize, guys. I'm having a trouble uploading this Google Drive, uploading the workbook to Google Drive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post it in I'm going to figure out why I can't upload it. I'm going to upload it, and then I'm going to email all of you the link so you can download the workbook. So I apologize. I'm having some technical issues on my end, but I promise I will send you the goal planning workbook shortly after this call so that you can have it to work through on your end. Yeah. Thank you, Kim. Yeah. Email is probably better. Thanks. Yeah. So I'd love to hear, is there anything you might need some clarity on, anything that I can expand on when it comes to the process? I know it was a lot of information in a short time frame, and we kind of went through it rather quickly. I mean, this is something I would typically spend several sessions speaking about, but again, I just want to, try to get it as much out to all of you to at least give you a starting point, to at least get you some steps and a structure to begin, because 2024 is only 7 weeks away. Anuja, do you have a question?
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Well, first of all, thank you for hosting this Zoom meeting. It's been very powerful.
You're
The
welcome.
meditation that we did, visualizing our future and having achieved that goal, that was really powerful. And I, kind of drifted off and didn't want to come back. But so my question for you, if there is one book that you would really recommend, especially those of us who want to, those of us who have self-doubt, is there one book that comes to mind that we can, read and maybe just help us get that kickstart?
Absolutely. Yeah. The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer. I'll put that in the chat down below, and I can even send a link to it in the email that I'm going to follow up with all of you on. For some reason I can't type into my, okay, there we go. The Surrender Experiment. Oh yeah, so Kim already posted in there. Thank you, Kim, super quick. So the Surrender Experiment is by Michael Singer. And he is also the author of another book called The Untethered Soul. And these two books for me were really instrumental in my spiritual growth, and just in learning to just live from a place of non-attachment and just really trusting the universe, and just really being able to believe that we deserve, our birthright is abundance. Our birthright, we can have literally anything we want out there. We just have to be the frequency. We just have to be the match for it. But it's our limiting beliefs and our blockages and our stories from the past that have us sabotaging our own success. And the Surrender Experiment is just such a beautiful story about someone who just said yes to life over and over and over again. And I don't want to, spoil it for you, but it's a beautiful, fascinating, it's a real story of a self-made billionaire who just kept saying yes and just kept surrendering and trusting over and over again. And it's a powerful read. It's a beautiful story. So that's a good one to start with. So I hope you enjoy it, Anuja.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, sorry, I got back on mute. Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah.
Carla, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too. Thank you for having me here. I'm so grateful for being part of this hour that we've been talking about visualization and setting goals and action plan. My takeaway from this is just being so open and transparent, and acknowledging that sometimes bad experiences can actually lead you to better things, and be vulnerable in front of people. And it's, I think, it's been great experience to hear your journey. And just being so open, because it gave us, the opportunity to realize that life changes and we have the power to do so. And believing and having faith and being optimistic. I think that's one thing through my years and my journey. I have learned that, after every bad step that we take, there's always better opportunities. So I just wanted to say thank you. I think everything that you said resonated with me. I'm starting a new phase in my life. I'm closing a chapter of a business and opening to a new direction. So I appreciate any support. And I just wanted to say hello and thank you to the community that is here.
No, thank you for sharing, and you're welcome. I'm happy you're able to join, and congrats, and wishing you all the best in this new chapter in your life.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You. Yeah, and if anybody else has anything to say or ask, now would be the time. Otherwise, excuse me, I appreciate you all being here. I'm going to send out in my email, you'll have my contact info if there's anything else you want to know about what I have going on. I do have a retreat coming up next year, and of course I have my different coaching offerings, but I'll include all that in an email. If there's anything more about what I'm doing, I do in-person events in Toronto sometimes. So I had a breathwork session at the One Hotel back in October, and I may be doing something again in Toronto, possibly early January. So if so, I'll email you all. I hope you don't mind receiving emails from me, but I'll keep you up to date with what I got going on, and I'll probably be hosting some more webinars to talk about some different things as well. So if there's any other topics or anything else that you would want me to speak on and share some information, I would love to have you all back on again, and we could dive into something else on the next call. So I'm always open and happy to receive feedback and suggestions. So feel free to reach out either on email or Instagram or however you want to get in contact with me. So thank you all for being here. And Derek, you have your hand up. Is there something I can help you?
Well, Coach, you've helped me enough, so just want to say thanks for everything
Okay.
you do. Thanks for having me in
You're
the corner, and yeah, you're a G. Thanks
Thank
for
you, my
everything,
friend.
man. I look forward
Thank you. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Sorry we went a little bit over. Actually, we went a lot over, but it was great to have you all here. Thank you for your participation, for listening, and I hope to see you all again in the near future. All right. So have a good night. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.